So Liverpool losing 1-0 to Galatasaray in Turkey on the heels of a loss at the weekend to Crystal Palace as well. They had 7 straight wins initially for the start of the season, then 2 losses in the last 2, Jamie. It is concerning.
Yeah, it is concerning, but it's the last 2 games are not concerning. I think Liverpool's full 9 games this season have been very concerning, and I was worried about Liverpool very early on, and I expressed that to the manager on the side of the pitch. Against Bournemouth in the first league game, where Liverpool ends up winning 4-2. I don't feel like I'm watching a top team. Liverpool aren't playing football at the moment, they're playing basketball. And it's just end to end, and I don't think top teams play like that. And as I said, I expressed that to the manager early on. He'll know that a lot better than me. He's obviously a fantastic manager. But right now, Liverpool went from I would call them a top team, but a workman-like team, I would say, last season. And they've sprinkled a little bit of stardust on it in terms of the transfers that he brought in. And they haven't gained anything going forward, but they've lost a lot defensively. So I think for the manager now, last season was such a smooth ride for him. He's now got to really earn his money. You know, he did last season, won the Premier League, unbelievable. But there's a few problems there that he's got to fix. And it'll be really interesting how he goes about it, because he's spent a lot of money on certain players. But right now, I don't think the balance of the team is right. And the obvious one that stands out right now is Florian Wirtz. He's just not at the races at all. He's a young boy coming into a new league. He's got plenty of time to go as a Liverpool player. But right now, I think he needs to come out of the team. Liverpool get back to what they were last season, and then go from there and try and build some confidence and build some defensive solidity, because right now it just looks a mess.
I don't like hearing you like this, Jamie.
No,
they've only lost 2 games. I mean,
no, but it's not the losses, it's not the defeats, it's the performances, and this has been coming from day one. Liverpool got battered by Newcastle in the second half of that game. Newcastle had 10 men. Things like that can't happen. You know, Crystal Palace at the weekend created 7 big chances. That's more big chances any team has conceded in the Premier League all season. And Liverpool are the champions. You know, so there's this has been coming. This is not a shock. For me in the last couple of games, and the manager needs to fix it.
We'll give Jamie an opportunity to break it down further in a full post-game that we've got coming up for you. But Thierry, just quickly before we go to a break, your thoughts then on Galatasaray and how well they did in that game, whether they deserved that result?
Yeah, you're always going to have a tiny bit of luck. The penalty that they called wasn't a penalty. You know, they did fight on every single ball. They played the counter to the max. They could have had a couple more. If Osimhen sometimes were a bit less greedy, a couple of times he could have released the ball for one of his teammates, but he took the penalty ever so well. And I said to Jamie at the beginning, actually, I said, I can see how Galatasaray can disturb Liverpool tonight. You have to give them their credit. Look at the players that they have in the team. If they are on a good night, they can play well against any team in Europe. Are they going to carry on, do more? I don't know, but on any good night at their place, they can beat anyone.
Football means a lot to me, and I don't like it when it doesn't go my way. But
what do you do when you go home? How do you decompress?
Well, I didn't have a great sleep last night. As you all know, I told you about it.
Why?
And,
what happened when you sleep?
I don't know. I got about 4 a.m. to go to the toilet. I couldn't go back to. Didn't go back to sleep. But I won't sleep well tonight. In my head tonight, I'll be going through Liverpool's team against Chelsea, what slot should pick and what I'd do. Yeah, I'll be thinking about who we should leave.
Who would you pick? Just say midfield, the front 6, say.
Yeah, I think he's just almost got to go back to his team of last season and get that solid midfield 3 of Szoboszlai in there. You know, right back, Conor Bradley's come on sub. Salah will start because he was sub.
Isaac or Ekitike?
No, Isaac will play. I just think Liverpool need to get back to being sort of more powerful and difficult to beat, and not have as many sort of footballers, and get the bigger players on the pitch. And as I said, make it difficult for Chelsea. And even Chelsea tonight, they've had a great result. But obviously, we were watching the game as well. Benfica had a lot of chances. I think if Liverpool go there and put in like a normal Liverpool performance for this team, they can still win there. But they've got the manager got to fix it in terms of how this team is set up. It's not right.
Do you ever eat your feelings, go home, snack?
I don't know where this is going, but I don't normally know.
No, I was just wondering. I was just wondering if that was. Yeah, that's one of those things.
Oh, you mean like the munchies when you get in? No, is that what you do? No,
I do sometimes, yeah.
Do you? You do, don't you? No, not particularly. No, we get well fed here.
Have the munchies. It's a different sort of munchies, though. Not that, Jamie. I'm talking about something else. So don't even try.
What are you talking about?
Let's go.
What are you on about the munchies?
There isn't a different type.
Can you remind us what you said to Arne Slot, because some people don't know? I've seen it. What did you tell him?
Oh, no, I wouldn't class it as telling him. He's the manager of Liverpool.
You had an opinion?
No, yeah, I was commentating on the game and I asked him, because what's really interesting, I think, with Slot, who come in and obviously meant to win the league for Liverpool, outstanding. But what he did is he took a Jurgen Klopp team and he almost took what we're watching now out of it. What we're watching right now for Liverpool was when Jurgen Klopp was trying to get the team on a journey to get to where they got to, which eventually became the best team in Europe. But in the first couple of years under Jurgen Klopp, the team was like that. It was very much end-to-end. And Slot came in, and it looked like he just had a little bit of a calmer effect on the team. That's gone. It's almost like it's gone back to Jurgen Klopp type of team, and it wasn't going well for Jurgen. And I thought Slot was sort of a slightly different type of manager. Now, it might be the personnel that they've brought in. It's not quite gelling. But I'm intrigued the way it's gone back to that, from where it was that sort of calm and influence last season, and we lost that basketball feel that we had. As I said, at great times under Jurgen. It's not criticism by any means, but it was a different style of football. What are you laughing at?
You're having a bad day, aren't you?
You know what?
He keeps popping out.
I know, honest to God. Honestly.
Put it back in.
No, I don't even want people in my ear anymore, honestly. I don't need people in my ear.
No sleep. Liverpool lost and you're here.
Let me get everyone's opinion on this, because we know Mikel Arteta loves trying new interesting methods to give Arsenal an edge, and his latest effort involves fighter pilots. Let me tell you what he had to say. He says, I can wake up one day and say my process on match day is not good enough. Why are we communicating to the players to actually how the message is delivered? I don't like it. So who's the best at that? So the British fighter planes, for example, I will get in touch with those guys, how they communicate, because that is life and death. I'm sure they don't use 20 phrases or 20 words if there is one word. Don't say, nah, the wind is coming this way, now you have to turn left, because boom, dead. So it will just be one word. So Mikel Arteta there working hard to try and improve his communication with players, to maybe not use as many words as some of us like.
Well, surely that just involves engaging your brain. I mean, I'm not being funny, but
at least he's trying new things.
If I walked into a bar and there was only me and him in the bar, right, and he was sat at
you buying him a drink?
No, I'd go and sit at the other end, as far away as I could, because I wouldn't want to listen to that kind of nonsense. I mean, it's nobody pulling him to the side.
Aye.
It's none of his coaches pulling him to the side and going, hey, do you know how stupid this sounds? Do you know how stupid you're making?
Not if they want to keep their job.
Well, you don't want people that just kiss your backside. You want somebody to say, listen, come on. I mean, what's he talking about? How to communicate? I mean, all you need to communicate is a brain and to be able to articulate it. I don't need to talk to a fighter pilot to know to keep it concise, to send a message to a player. I mean, this goes back to the documentary when, and listen, he's doing a good job. He's doing a good job. They have a very good side, and they have probably as good a chance as ever of winning the league. It's not going to be easy, but they're in a very good position in terms of the squad. So I get all that, but really, I mean, really, do we need this nonsense?
No, it's not even funny anymore. It's just stupid, and it's getting embarrassing. And the one thing when you when you do it to begin with, stuff like this, it's original, and the players will kind of have a little laugh and a snigger, but they'll listen to you and the rest of it. But when you start doing it consistently,
you start questioning everything.
You're just turning people off. Nobody's listening to you. Nobody's listening to you. That's all he's doing. And 100%, I'm with Craig. One of his coaching staff needs to turn and say, Gaffer, I think we need to leave this now.
Robert, what do you think on this? Because I know you're always a fan of new, innovative ways of communicating.
Well, absolutely. I think you have to admire coaches or players who want to improve themselves, or pundits who want to improve themselves. But you don't go telling everybody what you're doing and coming out with stupid ideas and stupid sense. And I think he contradicted himself there, because he said, if you have to use 20 words when you can only use one, you're doing the wrong thing. Well, he used about 50 words there when he could have just used a couple. It's complete bonkers. And somebody at some point, as the two guys said, I've got to say to him, you're not doing yourself any favours. You're only doing this for your own benefit, and it's not working. You know, the players aren't going to take any notice of that. Any decent player would say, what the hell is he talking about? All you want to know as a footballer, what do you want me to do? What are the tactics? How do you want me to perform week in, week out? And what's my role in the team? That's all you want from a coach and a manager, not this sort of rubbish.
I think the only line you need to say to Arteta is, have a day off. That's all you need.
Do you know what the other thing is as well? I don't want to go on about this, but you know, there's quite a lot of problems around the world. I mean, we're talking about RAF fighter pilots here.
Yeah.
Do you think they've got nothing better to do in the day, apart from their training and keeping the country safe and all that, to go in and speak to Mikel Arteta?
They may love it though. They may feel honoured that Mikel Arteta is calling them. Maybe
we are
We get a day off, that's why.
We are in sitcom territory here with this guy. Honestly, with some... I mean, this comes off the back of the documentary with all the light bulb stuff where you're sitting going, really?
And the pickpockets.
What was the pickpockets?
Because
I didn't watch the documentary.
He brought some pickpockets to the training ground to take things from the players to teach them that they need to always be alert.
But we've just had the Man City game where he went to the press conference and he got his cell phone and he says, every Tom, Dick and Harry in the country basically has been ringing me up telling me how good we were. Presidents, chief executives, you know, managers, coaches, they're all ringing him. They're all ringing him to tell him how great he is and Arsenal were. So that was... We're off and running at the races there with that one. And now, off the back of a big win against Newcastle, a big late win, you just think, hey, let's just get on the training ground and keep this momentum going. No. RAF fighter pilots. You couldn't make it up.
You should have reminded him what happened after played You'll Never Walk Alone during the training sessions. How did that one work out for Arsenal?
Not very well.
Not very well.
Do you ever think he is overthinking this scenario?
Again, have a day off. That's all he needs to do.
Every word Mikel Arteta said about Arsenal's victory over Newcastle, Gabriel's handball, Arsenal's goal, and that late penalty decision. Mikel Arteta faced the media after Arsenal's hard-fought win over Newcastle United in the Premier League. It took 2 late goals, from Mikel Merino and Gabriel Magalhaes, to seal the victory, ending a tough run of results at St James Park and bringing the Gunners within 2 points of Liverpool. After a frustrating penalty decision was overturned and a goal from Nick Woltemade was confirmed, it seemed like time was running out. But Arsenal dug deep and delivered a dramatic, yet well-deserved win when it mattered most. Arteta was full of pride and emotion after the final whistle, praising his players' mentality and resilience. How does it feel to finally get the result you deserved, especially after recent games where you dominated but didn't come away with the win? It's an unbelievable feeling. This is what football is all about. When a team gets what it truly deserves at the end, there's no better reward. We've been on the wrong side of these moments too many times. Today, we earned every bit of that result. When VAR was checking Gabriel's moment in the box near the end, what was going through your mind? Well, I saw it live and it looked pretty clear and quick to me, so I didn't think they'd overturn anything. But with what happened in the first half with the penalty decision, I honestly wasn't sure. Regardless, I'm extremely proud of the team, how we played, how we competed, how we responded to really tough moments and still found a way to win. With so many highs and lows in a match like that, how do you even begin to analyze what really happened out there? You have to accept that this is the type of game you have to play in this league. Some things are unpredictable, lineups, formations, but others are crystal clear. You need to fight, stay composed, and take your chances. From start to finish, we did exactly that. And beyond that, we added quality, real quality, throughout the pitch. Mentally, what did a performance like that mean for your players after everything they've faced this season? We talked about needing to learn from the past if we want to reach the next level. We've had tough moments here before, and today was another chance to show what we've learned. This was a big game, in a crucial week for the Premier League. After the adversity we faced earlier this season, we showed exactly who we are and who we want to be. What was your take on the Gioca's penalty decision? And how impressed were you with how the team responded? I watched it live and again on the big screen, and for me, that's a penalty. We've been told clearly this season that unless it's a clear and obvious error, VAR won't intervene. That wasn't the case here. But again, the key is how we reacted. The team stayed calm, composed, and emotionally in control. That's something we've learned from past experiences. With Liverpool dropping points yesterday, did that add pressure or motivation for today's result? Of course, there are key moments in a season where the opportunity is right there. Yesterday was one of those. And we had to come here, to one of the hardest places to play, and get the job done. That shows what this team is made of. Your substitutes made a massive impact again. That seems to be a recurring theme lately. How important is that? Massive. We knew we'd need fresh legs and different solutions as the game went on. Every player who came on today contributed in a big way. Martin came in and was a threat from the first minute. Saliba stepped in at half-time and was outstanding. Martin, Degaard, was coming back from a long spell out and still managed to deliver 2 assists. And Mikel Merino gave us the moment we needed most. That's what you want from your bench, game changers. There was a bit of a moment between Gabriel and Woltemade after the goal. Did you see what happened there? No, I didn't catch that, sorry. Finally, do you feel like this result helped silence some of the criticism you and your team faced last week? I don't know about silencing critics, but what I do know is we faced Manchester City and Newcastle, 2 of the toughest teams in the league, and I believe we were exceptional in both games. That's my opinion, and I think it's pretty clear. Aftermath and implications of Arsenal's victory over Newcastle. The final whistle brought a mix of relief and celebration for Arsenal. Players embraced with visible emotion, fully aware of how significant this result could be, not just in terms of points, but in terms of belief. For Newcastle, however, the mood was very different. What had looked like a match under control ended in disappointment, frustration, and questions, tightening the title race. With Liverpool failing to secure all 3 points earlier in the weekend, Arsenal's late win pulled them within 2 points of the top of the table. It was a massive result in a weekend that could have widened the gap. Instead, it reopened the title race and reminded everyone that Arsenal remain firmly in the fight. This win also boosts Arsenal's confidence heading into the crucial next stretch of fixtures. In a season where momentum is everything, pulling off a comeback like this, away from home, in a high-pressure situation, sends a message to their rivals. They are not going anywhere. Newcastle's struggles continue. On the other side, Newcastle are left to reflect on yet another match where they couldn't hold on to a lead. Their performance, though solid in spells, was ultimately not enough. Defensive lapses in the final moments, combined with missed chances earlier, proved costly. To make matters worse, they suffered a potential injury to Tino Livramento, whose early exit raised serious concern on the bench. The defeat leaves Newcastle slipping further away from the top 4 conversation, and with key fixtures ahead, questions are beginning to mount about consistency and squad depth. VAR controversy and Gabriel's incident. The match was also marked by officiating controversy. One key moment came when Arsenal appealed for a penalty after Victor Gyökeres was brought down in the box, only for the decision to be overturned after a lengthy VAR check. Mikel Arteta expressed his disappointment post-match, stating he believed it was a penalty and that the threshold for overturning decisions should remain consistent. Another flashpoint came after Gabriel Magalhaes scored and appeared to have a heated exchange with Nick Woltemade. The incident raised eyebrows, though nothing was officially reported by the officials after the game. It did, however, reflect the emotional intensity of the match, particularly in those final few minutes. Breaking the St. James Park curse. St. James Park has never been a particularly kind place for Arteta. In the past, both as a player and manager, he's endured difficult moments here. Last season's loss in this stadium was a turning point in Arsenal's title collapse, and those scars were still visible in his cautious tone pre-match. This time, however, his team showed character, maturity, and control. To come from behind and win in such a difficult environment marks a milestone for this group. It's not just another 3 points, it's a psychological breakthrough. The importance of squad depth. One of the most defining aspects of the match was the impact of Arsenal's bench. Substitutes made the difference. Martin Degaard, returning from injury, brought calm and vision. William Saliba, introduced at half-time, stabilized the defense. And Mikel Merino provided a presence in the box that eventually resulted in the equalizer. Arteta praised his players not just for their talent but for their attitude. The substitutes were fully focused and ready to change the game, and they did. In a long campaign where every point matters, Having a reliable and impactful bench could be the difference between second place and the title. A shift in momentum. This win could mark a turning point. Not only has it allowed Arsenal to close the gap at the top, but it also helped bury some of the ghosts of past collapses. Arteta's team is proving that it can handle pressure, respond to setbacks, and remain composed under fire. For Newcastle, the road ahead looks more uncertain. Injuries, tactical inconsistencies, and emotional responses to key moments are beginning to weigh heavily. How they respond in the next few weeks will determine whether they can stay competitive or slip further off the pace.